Hi guys. Okay, this is my latest purchase. It's a very lightweight tarpaulin. Its size is approximately 2 meters by 1.5 meters. It's by a company called DD Tarps, DD Hammocks, sorry. There you can see the actual title there. And these are very well known tarpaulins for campers. If you ever look up DD Tarps on YouTube, you'll find out that these are very popular. They're also bloody expensive for what they are. And they come in various sizes. I've opted for the smallest, which may be a mistake, but it's the one I chose and it was the cheapest of the lot, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I've now set this up into a shelter. Now I've set it up using this fence here. It's handy dandy fence. And you can say, well, you know, how often are you going to actually find a fence when you go out walking? More times than you know in the UK. But there could have been 2 trees as well. And all I've done is simply just tie them to it. And I've used some cord to support it there. The downside goes onto the floor, which goes to a guideline that sticks just there-ish. Okay, when you look inside there, that's basically what you've got, a tube. Very simple setup. Took me about 20 minutes from actually opening it up really, probably less than that. But bear in mind it's new, so all the guidelines were new and needed to be unravelled and etc. With a new piece of equipment, you've always got some unfamiliarity with it. Okay, first source is it's very lightweight, which is exactly what I was after. I wasn't after something bulky. Having bought now about 6 tarpaulins, to find that they're bloody heavy and more, not heavy, but bulky. For someone, I don't want to be carrying around a separate bag for this thing, or a bag because of this thing, or even strapping it on the outside. I wanted our tarpaulin that I could put inside a rucksack, which takes up very little room, and this is going to do the job for me. They have a really good reputation, which is kind of weird that they've actually sent me out a piece of cord with an actual knot in it. And I wonder whether they know they've done that. They've got such a high quality standard and high excellent reputation, and then they go and send something out, a piece of cord connected to it with a knot in it, which is kind of annoying in a very small way that they've actually done this. Now there are other ways to set this up. You can see by this you've actually got guidelines in the middle there that you can use as well, so you can set up a guideline in the middle to do that, to get really low to the ground. The idea of this particular setup is that it would act not only as a shelter. Imagine instead that this wasn't a fence, where it was 2 trees. You would set it up with the wind coming in from that direction, so it would keep the wind off you, and you could kind of crawl underneath it and get some shelter as well, the wind blowing the rain that way. You could also put a campfire in front of it, so you've not only created a kind of tent situation here, you've created something that can actually have its own heating. Over the last few camping expeditions I've been on, as soon as I've got into the tent, the fire's died down, I've got cold, and I thought there must be some kind of heater you can fit in the tent, but the truth is, of course, there isn't any kind of fire you can put in a tent, because it would either A, melt it, or set you on fire, which you don't want that to happen. So I thought the best thing to do then is if I actually create a fire and create a wind brace instead, and that's exactly what I've done here. It's looking good. I kind of like it quite a lot. It all fits down into that little bag down there, and it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pegs and its own cord that I'm probably going to replace, because I don't like the idea of it being a knot in at least one of them. At least replace that one. So 35 quid, I think, really. 35 quid. If you get a standard tarpaulin this size, 5 quid, 6 quid. So realistically, for a tarpaulin, they really are talking an excessive amount of money, but it's what the going rate is for this thing, I suppose. this is smaller than, when it folds up, this is smaller than any tent or bivvy that I've actually had. Even the little bivouac that I was using the other night is pretty huge when it's all packed up. Trying to think of something that is similar in size to it. Can't think of anything that's similar in size to it, but let's say it was bulky. It wouldn't fit inside my rucksack, it had to be strapped on the side, which is okay, but I didn't particularly want it strapped on the side at all. At one point during my little expedition the other day, it came undone from the straps and it was just hanging down. Now the way I'd done it was, it's not going to go anywhere, but suddenly to look around and find part of your equipment just hanging there is somewhat annoying, because you've got to stop, you've got to fix it, you've got to try and figure out what the problem is and how to actually resolve it. All part of the fun, I suppose, but not something I particularly wanted to be doing after I took the time to strap it there. So that's a DD tarp. There again, the name. I look forward to do some camping with this and losing some of the weight of the bivvy that I actually had. The other thing about the bivvy I had was it was grossly small to try and get in, and it's like I was struggling all night to try and get to a comfortable position. So it wasn't a great success. I need to reuse these pieces of equipment more than once to actually do a proper review in my own head for this, but it didn't present itself as being a fantastic piece of equipment first time usage. There was one point where the inflatable mattress that I had with it was actually above my head. It's like, where has it gone? And I had to look around and it's like, it's moved all the way so it's actually on top of me. And it was awkward to try and move it all back down in such a small amount of room. This presents me with a lot better option. I like this better and I'm looking forward to actually using it. Okay, I'm actually inside the tarp now. And if you look, that's where my legs are, and that's how much room there is. That's an incredible amount of room. I'm actually well inside it now, and there is an incredible amount of room under here, especially for laying down. I could actually lay down and have about what 3 foot? It looks like 3 foot either side. It's not bad going, is it, that? Other ideas are springing to mind as to exactly how to set this up, and I'm thinking about finding a couple of trees to try those out. Right now you can see that this is realistically touching my head, which I don't like, but imagine instead that it was punched out like that more. Now you've got loops here and loops there that can actually push it open and upwards, which will be an interesting concept to actually do, to actually give you more room under here. It would lower this amount of angle, but there's a lot of this I'm not actually using, so it would actually be a better shelter if I angled it, if I actually angled it more that way rather than just like this. But this was a very quick way of putting it up. Okay, I got one other thing to say about the DD hammock top. DD top. I hate packing things away. I hate packing tents into those boxes. I hate packing inflatable mattress into their little bags. I hate putting sleeping bags into the little bags that you get. It's a pain in the freaking pain in the arse to do it. It's just so freaking annoying. I always think, why didn't you make the freaking bag a little bigger, so that it fits in nice? It can be compressed down with other equipment, or you can even put compression straps on these things to compress them down. Just make the freaking bags a bit bigger. This thing roughly folded it up, as in it took what, about 2 minutes to fold it up. Fits in that bag wonderful. You can see there's plenty of room. I really like that fact that I haven't got to go to a hassle when I'm packing up things. I want to get on my way, that I haven't got to just keep pushing things into a bag that is clearly meant to compress it down, and my fingers are hurting trying to push these damn things in. I don't want work at the end of the day when I'm dealing with these things. Make the bags a little freaking bigger. DD Tarps, thank you for making the bag an appropriate size plenty of room. It can crush down even further. If I've got more equipment, it'll crush down anyway. If you want to get pedantic about it, you can actually put compression straps on it. I've actually got some compression straps at home, or straps that can be used as compression straps. Make the bags bigger, people. Stop making small bags. I've now taken the tarp on and expanded it somewhat. I've used this kind of principle of the last one you saw, which was 2 trees, just that one in the centre of the picture there, down to this one here, and then gone down to the ground and pegged it to the ground. But I've also taken another rope, string, cord, and gone from there across to there, and then taken it across there to that tree there, and to that tree just there. You can't really see that line, but you can kind of get the idea of where it comes from. And to expand it so that it actually goes, if I go to the centre here, it pulls it outward to give you a better, more head clearing, if you like, and more of a tent effect, so that you can actually get more headroom when you're sitting up to do it. So it's one of the things that it can actually do. I've now taken it really low to the ground, same formation but lower than it was before. If the wind's really playing up, you can lower it really down. Again, I've used a guideline that goes from centre to 2 other trees, just there and across there, but this time I've gone really low with it. Again, this is now just basically, I'm sleeping here, there's no fire. If you're getting this low, you've got to be thinking about your tarp's going to catch on fire or melt if you actually go this low and you've got a fire in front of it. But if you haven't got a fire, or the fire's going out, get it as low as you possibly can to prevent any kind of exchange of air in there. Okay, for this one I've gone really ultra low here. Now this is for realistically getting really low to the ground to prevent any kind of air exchange happening. Now, a couple of things that I can't do, which is potential to do, is you can see that bit that's flapping around there. I could actually tie that to the ground if I had more stakes. They only supply 3, but they're as cheap as chips, so to add a few more would actually bring it really down. The other thing is I can use the centre ones to hoist it up, to bring it up, to make a more of a central area there in the centre, as I did with the last shelter. Another thing that I could do here is, you notice I've used the corner to hit it to that tree. I could have used that one there, just there, and created a flap that goes down, which I could then tie to the ground. Can't do that again because I don't have enough pegs on me today, and quite frankly I'm exhausted now. I could actually make some, but sorry, I'm done, I want to go home. But the potential of this tarp is absolutely fantastic. I'm thoroughly blown away with it as a design concept. I don't know about the actual item yet because it's not really been tested as such. I know that it's got potential, that's good, to be able to use this thing in lots and lots of ways, and it's a matter of using your own imagination and see what other people have done to be able to use this. Yeah, it's been a great little experiment, and I'm thoroughly pleased with my £34 that I've had to spend for this tarp. Everything's looking good so far, and I'm looking forward to using it with in a camping situation.